Alright, so I wanted to give a little bit of a PSA of sorts, like an updated body, drug PSA kind of thing, or like up to date information. So, if you are coming out of a Christian background, you more likely, let's see, it's like, just like drugs are those things that are specifically illegal, and they are all considered to just like take you to like an entire world or another world or something like that. But then also, um, when we talk physiologically, like not psychologically, physiologically, like physical, how it affects your body, every single thing that you do affects your body. So, like, everything has an effect, and that's something I've noticed. You know, um, Figuring out like the effects of everything, kind of thing. But and so plants are no different. Also, I used to think that there are certain drugs that were made in a laboratory, like you take a crystal or something and then turn it into a drug somehow, but that's not true. Every single drug comes from a plant. But another thing that they don't tell you is that all these drugs, almost all of them, if not all of them, have all been around since the beginning of civilization, and probably Garden of Eden, and are actually part of how the nations became the nations in the first place. It's like almost like a key part of how people's understandings, um, the whole cognitive thing, has gone through. One example is a tree that grows in North America that doesn't grow anywhere else in the world, called sassafras, but it just grows everywhere in America. The roots of the sassafras tree taste just like root beer, and it's where root beer got its taste from. And the leaves, no joke, taste like bubble gum, and it's where bubble gum got its flavor from. Deer love it. Deer, I know a guy that he would just go to a hunting spot. He would hunting his whole life, and then as I was working at this hospital, I was telling him just about the sassafras tree because I was really excited about it at the time. It was a couple years ago, and I was just eating them all summer, And he was watching like a trail cam or something, or maybe he was on the trail, and he watched a deer for 30 minutes eating these the trees, the leaves off of a sassafras tree that and he had never known in the past, even though right that spot was because it was a good spot because of the sassafras, and he had no idea. And so I got him to start eating the sassafras, and sassafras is actually where the drug like Molly comes from. Technically, I don't know. You have to do like chemical stuff to it, but it gives you energy though. But also, sassafras is where the word sassy came from. That's what I was trying to get to. Is that before the 1600s, when people first came here to North America, um, the word sassy wasn't invented, and nobody had ever been sassy before. But so that's pretty funny. And uh, hmm, um, so there's that. Yeah, so these drugs, quote unquote, are things that kind of like get you connected to another part of who God is. And Martin was saying it's like today, and like it's almost like a taste of what's to come kind of thing. But so I've been actually, the biggest ones that I'd like to promote are vitamin D and Chaga. Vitamin D is a deficiency in vitamin D, I believe, is responsible for the North and South divide, as well as why the North treated their slaves worse than the people in the South. and it contributes to every autoimmune disease. And vitamin D is actually the most powerful steroidal hormone there is, instead of just calling it a vitamin, because it comes from the sun. And chaga is actually the scab of a birch tree that when a limb falls off, it's like it's the blood of the birch tree, and it has like this very nice. It has a very nice taste, like a sweet like wood. It tastes like a taste of wood in it, um, but it has it's like a super steroidal thing because it's like the strength of a tree kind of thing, and it activates vitamin D, and it's responsible for one group of ancient people living double the amount of years as another group of ancient people in the same conditions in a different part of the world, and 45 or 90. And it's the most powerful antioxidant, I guess, and it can a lot of studies in mostly in different countries um, show that it beats cancer and basically every disease and stuff. And so those are very good and been very good for me. And there's an herb called catawba, which is close to sassafras, I'd say, um, where it's good for skin, and it's good for purifying your blood and stuff like that, and good for your digestive a little bit too, in a sense. But and then St. John's wort is one that's been very good. St. John's wort's known as like a herbal antidepressant, and it actually activates vitamin D better. So when you're taking vitamin D, it makes it work better, and it also kills like herpes, like all these different diseases. It's good for being anti-yeast. If you ever get yeast problems, it's good for killing that, and it's good for wound healing, and it'll add a froth to your urine, which means that there's increased amino acid content, and so that's it's good for wound healing of all sorts. And some people say it promotes a sunny mood, and that's like the kind of good feeling it gives you. But other than that, pretty much just I smoke weed, but I smoke weed that has CBD mixed into it. And little known fact is that the Kush kind of weed called like indica is actually the same weed that's been smoked in all the ancient cultures of the nations, along with like poppies or opium, basically. Um, it's like similar to like kratom, basically. But and I'm pretty sure it's the same weed that Noah brought on his ark, and it may have been like the only remaining strain. And then, anyways, but it's the same weed that, and to this day, that like in all the Middle Eastern countries and all that, they smoke, and it's just a Kush, but it has CBD mixed into it is the difference. For whatever reason, a lot of the weeds now, they got cultivated different to where it's only THC only. But okay, I gotta go. Good talking to you guys. Peace.